Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, I just want to weigh in on what's going on with this thing in the media. The media is being their usual racist bias self. We've seen this over the years. We can go all the way back through history where this media was more than happy to announce where all the lynchings would occur. This media was more than happy to show our people in their lowest state during Jim Crow. This media was more than happy to show dogs biting our people during the civil rights movement, and they were more than happy to show our people in crack houses. So we can't expect anything decent from these people. It's just not in them. And we also, over the years, seen them act as defense attorneys for police that shot mainly are men unarmed. So they always act as defense attorneys for them. And so we should not expect anything less. So you may be asking, what is my issue? Here's my issue. Let me share my screen. Let's see here. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. Me. All right. Let me get the I had to reboot and it looked like it took my yeah, it did. All right, just give me a moment. Right? And I just gotta look for the okay, here it is. Okay. And I need this. All right. So here's my problem. These folks are all online whining about how the fight was so unfair and there was so many on them, on the white folks, the Russian. And I shout out to Demetra K. She did a video earlier today talking about it was some white woman over on TikTok, and she was all upset over how is it right having 30 on one? First of all, y'all are the ones historically that always did that. How many Klansmen kicked in doors and snatched people out of bed? Y'all always have been 20 on us and 50 on us. And you do it with your cops today. And if you don't want to go back to the times of Jim Crow and slavery, well, then let's look at, in fact, today is the anniversary of the riverboat brawl. And what happened there? A bunch of white people on one melanated man, right? A bunch of so don't tell me y'all don't do that. I don't want to hear it. So when it's happening to your people, it's wrong. No, it's not wrong. You did it. It was okay. You didn't complain when it was done to our people. You didn't have nothing to say. But when it happens to you, All of a sudden, it shouldn't be 30 on 1. You've been doing 30 on 1 to us all throughout history. You name a time when you didn't do it. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, when it happens to them, it's now an issue. I don't want to hear it. All right? Now, here's my pet peeve with the media. Y'all, where is the mugshot of the perpetrators? Where's the mugshot of the perpetrators? All they have been showing since this whole thing started are these mugshots. Where are the mugshots of the Russian man that threw the first punch? Where's his mugshot? And I know what y'all doing. What you're doing is you're trying to get sympathy for the perpetrator and make our people the boogeyman. You've been doing this forever in the media. How the hell are you going to show these mugshots, but not the mugshot of the Russian man that slapped? He put his hands on two different men, but y'all won't show him? Where is his mugshot? Media, US media. This is why y'all are full of shit. I wish if we do another boycott, turn off mainstream news. Mainstream news is racist, they are biased, and they are always trying to make the perpetrator the victim. Now, y'all remember when the police shootings happened and our men mainly were getting killed unarmed? What were they saying out in the media? Well, the police, they want to go home to their families. Who the hell leaves their damn house and don't want to come back home to their family? That's so fucking dumb. That's stupid. Who leaves their house and don't want to make it back to their family? Not only do y'all say stupid shit, then you run with something stupid. Cops are not the only ones that leave their house and want to make it back home to their families. Damn near everybody that step out of their house want to make it home to their family, dummy. But this, y'all, is nothing but preferential treatment. And what they're trying to do is make the public turn on these folks that you see right here on your screen. And it's happening on social media as usual. Everything is divided by race. But my thing is, if you're going to show these folks, why not show the person that started this whole thing? That's where I got a huge problem. And this media, you can go online and look. Y'all, they don't have nary mugshot of the man that started this entire fight. No mugshot, nothing. But they're going to show you this every day to make sure you turn on these folks, and the ones that turned this whole thing up in the first place, you going to give them a pass when they don't even deserve one. So now what they're doing is they're trying to use the white woman that got knocked out. They're trying to use her to jerk on the sympathy of the public. My thing is keep better company the next time. And then maybe you can go out with somebody civilized and you won't get knocked out. Obviously, you keep very bad company. And as I said before, when you go out with somebody and they're unruly and that person is with you, they're now opening you up for attack. Happens all the time. That's just like you getting in a car with somebody and you just hanging out with a friend, and that friend goes and commits an armed robbery. So now you're in the car with this person and you're in trouble too. You got to watch the company you keep, you know? And, they tried to come up with, see what the media also, what I resent them doing, they're showing a lot of edited clips. What they want to do is show the these men retaliating, but they won't show how it all got started. And then they were like, well, so this woman was like, well, why couldn't it be one on one? Well, why couldn't you deal with us one on one? You never dealt with us one on one, did you? Let's look at the history. You never dealt with us one on one. Y'all always want to come and dogpile on us. So again, don't look for sympathy when it happens to you. Y'all always want everything easier for you when you don't even deserve it. I tell you what, when you make it easier for us in the system, we'll make it easier for you. All right. But until then, I don't care about all this talk about it was wrong for all those people to jump on that part. Well, it's wrong all throughout history for your people to jump on us. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how wrong it is now. I don't want to hear that BS. But that's what they're trying to do. So I feel that the media is trying to spin this thing so that these folks that reacted to being hit are the ones that get in the most trouble. And the little Russian guy got his old ass on the plane and he left. He should not have been allowed to leave. And that's another thing. Y'all let that man leave. So, because that was a way for you to protect him. If an immigrant or somebody visiting the country commit a crime, at that point, they need to conform to whatever the laws are in the country that they visited. And this man started a fight on the streets. Y'all let him board a plane and leave. So that right there tells me your intent was to let this man off all along. That's what your intent was. Otherwise, I bet you if he was a melanated immigrant and this was the opposite way, I bet you wouldn't have let him leave the country. Especially if he went on these streets and started a fight, you would never in a million years let him leave the country. Oh, yeah, they all need to go. Even the people running everything, their asses need to get the hell up off the land too, because y'all ain't done nothing but run this place in the ground. You ain't done nothing but run it in the ground. America is ran like crap. You got a crappy president. Everything he's doing with this old project 2025 and all that, everything ran crappy up in here. And it's ran crappy. And at the same time, you're trying to convince us that these are the best people to lead. You have never been the best people to lead, by the way. You have never been the best people to lead. And the bottom line of the matter is, y'all, just watch what this media is doing. They are showing these mug shots over and over and over and over. And they are trying to turn everybody on these people before anything goes to trial. And the Russian man, he should not have left, but he's gone. So they let him skip on out of here after committing a crime. So don't talk to us about, I don't want to hear the words law and order out of any of you. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from Donald Trump. I don't want to hear it from MAGA. I don't want to hear law and order from none of you because you let a criminal leave. The Russian guy is a criminal, and you allowed a criminal to leave. The media is the KKK. That's what the media is. The media is very white supremacist. It's owned by white supremacists, and they function like white supremacists because that's what they are. That's what the media is in this country. So I have a video I'm going to show you. Stop showing this. And I'm going to show you this video. Oh, and by the way, they raised $400,000 for the white woman that got hit. Okay. You know, I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for her. She need to learn how to be around decent people and not go out on these streets with unruly people. Keep better company around you, and perhaps you'll be safe on the streets. That's my advice for her. All right, let me okay. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Wow, this feed is pretty slow.
Built for precision, built for performance, built for you. Since 2002, Laser Marking Technologies has delivered cutting-edge laser marking and engraving solutions with standout systems like the powerful Cobalt XL, designed for speed, accuracy, and reliability. From UV to fiber to turnkey automation, we help manufacturers mark smarter and faster. Call 866-799-0199 and mention Fox for a free extra year of warranty.
So basically, like I said, I saw a little ruckus going on, saw people kind of scuffling, so kind of zoomed in, and once my phone kind of focused in, I saw the so-called victims, being pretty aggressive, towards the group of people that were already standing out there. And, it was a situation where it looked like, a lot of people, contrary to what people think, but there was a lot of people that were trying to break the fight up. I think a lot of people feel like everyone was just egging it on, and that's not the case. There was a lot of people, trying to stop it. And, like I said, the people that are being called the victims seem to be pretty aggressive, in this. And that's what I saw. Halfway through the video, you'll probably see where I got out because I noticed someone was on the ground. So I got out and kind of went back like in the thick of the fight. And, there was a guy laying on the ground. I was a little concerned about him, but then he got up and, started, there again. Once he got up, people were kind of backing off of him, but he was kind of still going at people, and, using racial slurs, so, I mean, it was just an unfortunate situation. I know it wasn't anything had to do with the jazz festival. That's what a lot of people are concerned with. We don't want that to shine a bad light on a very good weekend. It was one of the best weekends ever. But I did see other fights going on. It was just one of those deals where you got people out drinking, and, I'm pretty sure drinking had a lot to do with that fight, but it's very unfortunate for the young lady. I pray for her and her family. She was just trying to help out. So definitely in any way, I don't want to, there was nothing good about that. You know, I mean, the fight happening at all was nothing good about it. But, you know, I do know that it wasn't all, you know, the people that are being arrested that I feel like were, you know, at fault. You know, after seeing other videos, you know, I'm seeing where the guy smacked the guy. You know, I saw earlier where that guy was breaking up. You know, he was trying to defuse the fight. And then there was something that happened with his vehicle that I think kind of sparked them. But, you know, initially there was nobody really going at him from what I could see until after the smack. And after the smack, then all hell broke loose. You know, I've been at that corner before, so there's not much problems there. And from what I hear, they were saying they just didn't have any police presence there because, you know, they just didn't have that kind of problem prior to. But, you know, I'm sure next year moving forward, they'll probably, you know, have some foot patrol, which I think would have probably diffused it a lot sooner. But it was just one of those situations, very unfortunate for my city. Ultimately, I would like to think that this would bring us together as a people. You know, it seems like we're divided, but, you know, I think, you know, if everybody really digs deep and see that, you know, we're not all against each other, we can get along. I think, you know, it's all about the individual. If you want to get along and be positive, you know, and not think that all black people are bad or all white people are bad, you know, it was a situation. I think, like I said, I think it was more the alcohol that was the culprit. But, you know, like I said, prayers go out to all the people that were hurt, especially the lady. And, you know, hopefully we can just get past this and use this as a stepping stone to be more positive towards each other.
All right. You know what, y'all? You know what? I'm tired of the high road, you know, and I'm tired of people telling us to take the high road. Shit, man, I'm tired. When we get physically attacked out here, no, honey, I'm going in the gutter. Okay, I ain't taking no high road. I'm going down the abyss with your ass. And ain't gonna be no gutter or no high road. I'm tired of us being expected to take the high road. And I'm sick of this society just because of slavery, because this is where that attitude where we can't defend ourselves. Y'all need to get rid of that mess. That is not an us problem. That's a you problem. Y'all got to get this crap out of your head that we can't defend ourselves. We are going to defend ourselves, whether you like it or not. Every human being on this planet have the right to defend themselves if they are attacked. That Russian man put his hands on people out there in the streets. He was using racial slurs, and I believe he was. And he was asking for ass beating, and he got one. But yes, the US media, y'all, is going above and beyond to make these perpetrators the victim in the whole thing. But all throughout history, they have always done this. They have always done this. We saw it with Kyle Rittenhouse, Daniel Penny. Perpetrators, if they are white in the media, the perpetrator is the victim. All these numerous cops that have shot our people unarmed, this media in this country have made the cop a victim. They are notorious. They have been on this script for a long, long time, and they have not deviated away from it yet. And they're not doing it now. They're not doing it now. So, y'all, that's all I wanted to say about this, because I got tired of seeing these same mug shots over and over. And I was like, it's almost like you don't want everybody to see this man so he can be identified. I know why they're doing it. They don't want anybody to identify that Russian man that started everything. So they refused to show his mugshot. He might not have had one taken, y'all. I wouldn't even doubt if these cops only took the mugshots that you're looking at and they excluded this Russian man altogether. This system is so damn sneaky, I don't put nothing past them. Nothing. They probably didn't even take his mugshot at all. And if we really dig, the police may have taken him to the airport. Burger King, too. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. And I have a live stream coming up tomorrow. And the live stream tomorrow is going to be more stories on women who had bad experiences at the African braiding shop. And I was going to do one today, but I'll save that one for tomorrow. And it's how the Latino community is canceling all of their summer festivals and events because they're in fear of ICE raids occurring. So hopefully I will see you all tomorrow and have a wonderful night. Shalom, family.